My name is Simon Tovey, and I was one of the lead exterior designers on this car. I was working on this for the last 4 years, and it's been a really exciting project, quite a challenging one also, but I suppose most of all it's actually been quite liberating. Liberating because we've got a new powertrain, and this powertrain enabled us to come up with something completely new, a completely new proportion to the car basically. The battery pack sits between the wheels, which then accentuates the wheelbase of this car. So we have the wheels really move to the corners of this car, and then the motors sit between the wheels. Therefore, we can have very short overhangs, both front and rear. What it also means is that we can also have a very short bonnet. We don't have that engine in there anymore. So why have a big bonnet? So what we did is we moved the A-pillar forward. This first accentuates the cabin of the car, but also then gives the car like this vision of a mid-engine sports car. Really exotic, really exciting. And for us, the inspiration for this was the CX-75, which was the previous mid-engine supercar that we did. So I think you can see a couple of characteristics from that, like these very muscular, shapely haunches, that combining with this very fast A-pillar really give the car a sense of movement, make it look like it's really wanting to move, very much like the Jaguar brand has always kind of perceived. Let's move around to the front then, if you want to all come round so I can just describe a couple of things around here. I think one of the main things about this car, or one of the main questions that we get about this car, is about the grille, why we have a grille. I know a number of our competitors doing electric cars don't need a grille, but actually we do. I think Simon explained to you earlier that we do have a radiator behind here, so we do have air that goes through here, cooling that radiator for the batteries and for the inverters and the other electric components, but also some of the air also goes through the grille. Second reason is that because we have such a different proportion to the rest of the range, everything has this long bonnet, and everybody knows this characteristic as a Jaguar, we wanted this car to be instantly recognizable as a Jaguar. So we have the grille so that you instantly recognize it. The other feature that we have, I'm going to talk about aerodynamics quite a lot tonight. During the design process of this car, we had the aero team working with us quite closely, because aero efficiency in electric car terms equates to mileage, almost one-to-one, so you can equate it. So we wanted this car to have a very aggressive target for aerodynamics, which was 0.29, which we achieved through a number of features. One of them being this here, where the air comes through and goes up over the grille and actually comes straight out through the bonnet and up over the roof, so it stays attached and keeps the air very clean, direction, I suppose. Other thing on the side here, we have side intake, where the air goes straight through air curtain into the wheel arch, releases through down the side of the car, again keeping the airflow to a minimum. We have very slim all LED headlamps, which have a double J graphic, which again points to the XJ within our class of car. So let's go around to the side. As I mentioned before, the CX-75 played a role in the haunches of the car, giving this dynamic, kind of shapely, typical Jaguar appearance of the car. But I think one of the things you'll notice about the side is actually quite sheer in comparison to most of the Jaguar cars. We have quite a bellied or barrel roll surfacing. This is actually quite sheer, again for aerodynamics, as well as the deployable handles, which disappear when the car is in motion. One of the features on the side of the car is this black graphic. Because we have the battery pack underneath the usual car package, we have quite a deep door section, so this black graphic breaks up that height, I suppose, and gives it a bit more length, and also accentuates the shape of the car. These sculptural tabs on the side of the car again help air flow around the wheels. And another feature, the DLO, again hints at the XF and XE class cars that we have, which is the hockey stick kind of graphic. If we go around to the rear then, the rear is the favourite part, well, my favourite part of the car. It's quite a square, boxy back end compared to a lot of our cars. A lot of our cars have quite a tapering rear section, but actually that's not very good for aerodynamics. You need quite a hard, sharp crease or sharp edge to the rear for the air to basically to flow off all in one area, so you don't get any turbulence. And that is why we have an active diffuser. So the floor of this car is very flat, and the air rushes through underneath and joins with the air coming over the cabin, and so that you have as minimal turbulence as possible. A couple of features around the rear is this spoiler, as I was describing earlier to one of your colleagues, is that one of the best shapes for aerodynamics is actually like the Tesla X or the BMW X6, which is a coupe line and a very high tail. Although we appreciate that as a certain look, we wanted the speed of the roof to run through and give this car a bit more of a dynamic appearance. So what we worked with the aerodynamics team is that this spoiler is actually more like a wing. So the air actually goes again underneath and comes straight through off the rear edge, rear tail. The rear screen is quite interesting in itself because it has a hydrophobic coating to it so that water doesn't stick to it, and then combining it with the air that rushes through, it cleans it as it drives, so you never need a wiper. I think that's pretty much for the exterior. If we want to have a look on the interior, hydrophobic.
You were asking if it's snowphobic.
Snowphobic. So the interior, I suppose that the main story about the interior is, again, based on this A-pillar, movement forward, means that the driver and the forward occupants can move also forward, allowing the rear occupants a lot more space than usual. So what we have is a cabin size of a Jaguar XJ long wheelbase on the footprint of a car the size of a Porsche Macan, which is pretty incredible. The dashboard and the philosophy of the interior is basically to make the most of this interior, to make it interior size, and to make it feel light and airy. So you'll see a lot of things, including the center cluster open with air, you can see the air and everything running through it, and very open and very clean and very simple.